It was cheap, too cheap. That should have been the first red flag. A 2-bedroom apartment in a decent part of the city, fully furnished, utilities included, for less than what I used to pay for my basement studio. The landlord showed me around himself. Middle-aged guy, quiet, dressed like someone who hadn't left the 90s. He barely spoke, just handed me the keys, pointed to the rooms, and mumbled things like new fridge or double-pane windows. Then we got to the hallway. There was a door at the end, small, wooden, slightly warped. Unlike the rest of the place, it looked old, like older than the building itself. He stopped walking. "This one stays shut," he said. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. He didn't smile. "I'm serious. Don't open it. Don't touch it. You don't need it." "Is it locked?" "No," he said, "but it should be." And then he left. Didn't wait for questions. Didn't hand me a lease. Just walked out the front door like he couldn't get away fast enough. I should have taken the hint. I should have left that day. But rent was due at my old place, and I couldn't afford to lose the deposit. So I stayed. And for a few days, everything was fine. The apartment was weirdly quiet. The neighbors didn't say much. I worked from home, ordered takeout, unpacked boxes. I even covered the hallway door with a coat rack. Out of sight, out of mind. But then, on the 4th night, I heard it. A knock. 3 soft taps. Coming from the other side of the door. I froze. Didn't move. Waited. Nothing. Just silence. I told myself it was the pipes. Or maybe a neighbor slamming something against a shared wall. But the next night, it happened again. Same time, just after 2 a.m. Same knock. 3 taps. Soft. Slow. Like someone knew I was awake. I got out of bed and stood in the hallway, staring at the door. It looked the same. Still dusty. Still a little crooked. But the air near it felt colder. Heavier. I pressed my ear to the wood. Nothing. No sound. But when I stepped back, I noticed something. The coat rack I'd leaned in front of the door, it was on the floor, on the other side, inside the closet. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with the hallway light on, waiting for another sound, another knock, another anything. But it never came, just silence, like whatever was behind that door had made its point. In the morning, I told myself I imagined it, that the coat rack must have tipped over, bounced, landed just right. I even Googled it, tried to find examples of how furniture could fall inside something it wasn't even in. Nothing made sense. Still, I didn't open the door. Not yet. I pushed a heavy box in front of it this time. One of the ones filled with books. It weighed at least 50 pounds. No way it was going anywhere on its own. Then I left for the day. Coffee shop, errands, anything to stay out. When I came back that evening, the apartment felt different. Not colder exactly, just off, like someone had been inside. I checked the locks, still secure, checked my stuff, nothing missing. But in the hallway, the box was gone, not just moved, gone. I opened the door to the closet before I could talk myself out of it. There it was, my box, sitting neatly in the center of the tiny room. Only, the closet wasn't tiny. From the outside, it looked like it should have been 3 feet deep at most. But when I stepped inside, slowly, carefully, it just kept going. The back wall had been ripped out, or maybe there never was one. Instead, there was a passage, narrow, covered in peeling wallpaper and exposed wiring. It curved out of sight like the hallway of an old motel, and the air inside smelled like dust and mildew and something faintly metallic. I didn't go any farther. Couldn't. I dragged the box back into the hallway, slammed the door shut, and wedged a chair under the knob. Then I sat on the floor for what felt like hours, just staring at it. Eventually, I fell asleep there. I had a dream. In it, I was walking down the hallway, the one inside the closet. My hands brushed the peeling wallpaper, and I could hear something ahead of me, breathing, not fast, not angry, just waiting. And when I turned the corner, I saw it, the figure, standing perfectly still in the dark, wearing my coat. I woke up on the floor, heart pounding, the dream still fresh in my mind. I checked the closet door, still closed, chair still in place, but the smell was stronger now. That faint metallic scent, like rust or blood, was seeping through the crack at the bottom. I called the landlord. No answer. I left a message, then another, and another. By the end of the day, I'd called him 8 times. Nothing. I tried to move on, tried to focus on work, tried to convince myself that maybe I was just stressed, sleep deprived. But that night, I made a mistake. I opened the door again. I just needed to see, to be sure the hallway hadn't grown longer, that it wasn't changing. But it had. Where before it curved gently out of view, now it stretched further. And the wallpaper had changed. It looked older, faded to a yellow-brown with water stains like veins along the seams. And worse, the air inside felt warmer. Not comforting warm. Stale. Used. Like someone had just walked through and shut the door behind them. I held my breath and took one step in, then another. I kept one hand on the frame, like an anchor, and leaned forward to peek around the curve of the hallway. Nothing. Just more of the same. Old wallpaper, cracked linoleum, flickering ceiling light that I didn't remember seeing before. I turned back, except the door was gone. There was only wall. I reached out, started patting the surface. Still there. I could feel the frame, the knob, the grain of the wood. But visually it was just wallpaper. Like the hallway was pretending it didn't lead anywhere else. My heart started racing. I pressed harder, twisted the invisible knob, and suddenly, the door creaked open. I stumbled out into my apartment, gasping, eyes wide. Except, it wasn't my apartment. The furniture was older, heavier, covered in dust. The windows were boarded up from the inside, and there was a photo on the wall. A picture of me, but taken from behind, like someone had followed me into the hallway. I didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe, just stared at the photo hanging on the wall. It showed me, clearly me, walking into the closet. The angle was from behind, over the shoulder, as if someone or something had been following. The walls around me felt wrong. The color was off, yellower than my real apartment, more cracked, and the light was dimmer, like the ceiling bulbs had aged decades in a second. I backed away slowly, tried the front door. Locked, different handle, no chain. The hallway outside the peephole wasn't the same either. There was no hallway, just brick, solid and unmoving. I turned back toward the photo. It was gone. In its place now a mirror, old, warped, too tall for the wall, and in the reflection, I wasn't alone. There was a shape standing just inside the closet behind me. Not quite human, not quite shadow. I spun around. Nothing. Just the open closet, stretching deep and dark. I didn't wait. I ran back inside and forced the door closed. The moment it clicked shut, my apartment returned. Just like that. Same furniture, same lighting, same coat rack tipped over on the floor. I sat on the floor again, back to the door, breathing hard. And then the phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me I had to. I picked up. Hello? A pause. Then, he told you not to open it. It was the landlord's voice. Low. Shaky. Almost scared. I know, I whispered. I'm sorry. I didn't. It remembers now. What? The place. The hallway. The thing inside. It knows you now. What do I do? Silence. Then a click. Call ended. I sat there in the quiet, heart pounding, trying to process what he said. And that's when I noticed it. The closet door was slightly ajar, even though I'd locked it, even though I'd heard it click shut. And this time, there was something breathing on the other side. I didn't open the door. Not this time. I didn't need to, because something inside the closet was already doing it for me. The doorknob turned slowly, like someone testing it, like someone learning how it worked. Click. And then nothing. No swing open. No footsteps. Just waiting. I backed into the living room and grabbed the heaviest thing I could find, a lamp. Held it like a weapon. Like it would matter. The door stayed closed. For the rest of the night. But I didn't sleep. Didn't sit. I just watched. And at 2:41 a.m. exactly, the hallway light flickered once and the breathing stopped. I waited another hour before I moved. By sunrise, I'd made a decision. I was getting out. I packed what I could: phone, wallet, laptop, and went for the door. Except when I opened it, it wasn't the hallway. It was the closet. The same warped wood. The same peeling wallpaper. But now the passage was even longer. Brighter somehow. Like it wanted me to come in. I slammed the door shut and tried again. Still the closet. I turned back, heart racing. And there, in the living room, sitting calmly on the couch, was a copy of me. Same clothes. Same tired eyes. Same scar on my chin. He just smiled. "I told you not to open it," he said. The voice was mine, too. But off. Echoing. Like it came from somewhere behind him. I ran into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, turned around, and he was gone. Vanished. Just indentations in the couch cushions where he'd been sitting. The front door was back now. Just a door. I bolted out of the apartment and didn't look back. I stayed with a friend for a few nights. Didn't tell her everything, just said I had apartment issues. But even there, I could feel it. Like a pull. A whisper behind the walls. Every night, 2:41 a.m., I'd wake up and hear 3 soft knocks. Not from outside. From inside the closet. Even though her apartment didn't have one. I left the city the next day. Didn't pack. Didn't call the landlord. Didn't even leave a note. I just got in my car and drove until the skyline disappeared and the air stopped tasting like static. I rented a small motel room off a back road 3 hours north. Old, dusty, no closet. That night, I sat in bed, phone in hand, staring at the wall. 2:40 a.m. 2:41. No knock. No breath. Just silence. And for the first time in days, I thought maybe I was free. Until I checked my phone. A new notification. Connected to app 3C closet signal. I didn't even remember the Wi-Fi being on. I opened the list of available networks. There was only one. It remembers you. The screen flickered, then went black. And when it lit up again, the wallpaper had changed. It was a photo. A grainy image of a hallway. Not just any hallway, that hallway. From the closet. And at the far end, a door. Wide open. With me standing just inside. Back turned. Head slightly tilted, like I was listening. I dropped the phone. Let it fall under the bed. Didn't sleep. Didn't move. Just waited. But nothing came. No knock. No whisper. Nothing. Until the morning. When I opened the door to leave and stepped into the closet. Not metaphorically. Literally. The motel hallway was gone. I was standing inside that narrow, twisting corridor again, the one from the apartment. Except now it had doors. Dozens of them. Each one slightly different. Wooden, metal, painted, peeling, all shut tight. Except one. The third on the left. Open. Inside, I could see a small, dusty motel room. With me. Asleep. In bed. Clutching my phone. And something slowly reaching out from under the frame. Something pale. Long familiar. I turned to run, but the hallway behind me had changed. Bent into a new direction. A new stretch. Another door. Slightly ajar. And from behind it, breathing. Soft. Slow. Waiting. Like it knew I'd be back.